Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos Committee podcast. This is our podcast. Sorry, the Sickos Committee podcast, because apparently our YouTube closed captioning is the Sickle Committee podcast.
The Sickles Community Podcast.
Sickles Community Podcast.
It's the Sickos Committee Podcast.
Sickle Committee was last episode when we were lamenting the death of the Pac-12.
Okay, that makes sense.
No, the Sickles Committee is our far left people's podcast.
Mascot Comrade Puddles.
Comrade Puddles.
One day you'll return, sir.
Shout out Comrade Puddles. If you know, you know.
Tonight, guys, we'll be talking about a bunch of fun college football stuff and other things as we get closer to the season. We are in the middle of August, so we're all doing our studious prep for the season. Friend of the program, Ducky, admitted today he had done no prep so far for the season. And you know what? Sometimes going into the season blind is the better way to do it, I think. Why know
Everything's
things?
a surprise.
Yeah, why know things?
I mean, honestly, that's kind of what it feels like. I don't want to look too far ahead in the schedule because I want to be surprised by the Sickos games that we find. I don't want to find them in advance. I don't want to do that. I want them to just surprise me throughout the season and just feel that unbridled joy of like, oh my God, this game has happened.
Or if you have an awful short-term memory like me, you realize that Cal and North Texas are playing over and over again and are constantly surprised by it. It's wonderful.
Everything's new to a goldfish.
Yes, or you remember where Bob Diaco is, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe Bob Diaco's there.
Where is Bob Diaco?
Shit, I can't remember. I just looked it up today. Oh, Bob, I literally just looked it up today.
Wait, I don't know who Bob. Why don't I recognize that?
Former head coach of UConn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Former defensive coordinator of Nebraska.
He's at LSU. He's a defensive analyst at LSU. Right. I had the same.
Good for him.
Good for him.
By the way, he is Robert Albert Diaco.
He's only 50?
Yeah, he's only 50.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm getting him confused with
older? Which one?
Where?
Bob Diaco feels like he should be 1,000 years old.
Wait, I'm getting him confused with like the longtime Bobby Bowden assistant, Chuck Amato, in my head. I don't know why.
Okay.
He was at NC State for a while.
So let's talk about who we have on the podcast tonight. First off, as always, I'm Jordan, and with me I've got Commish, PittGirl, and then special guests, Andrew, the corn correspondent / bean broadcaster / Runza reporter, and Katie, our FSU correspondent. Katie, how are you?
I'm great, guys. Excited for the season.
Are you excited for private equity money to finance Florida State's escape from the ACC?
That's such a mess. Yeah, sure, great. Not really, no.
I'm excited for the Saudis to take over Florida State football. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, Beth is here too. Hi, Beth.
Hey, it's Beth.
Hi.
Beth, how are you? Cool. Andrew, how are you, sir?
Good. I am making a focaccia bread while we record this, so I might be distracted throughout, but I will continue to join in and add various quips.
All I gotta do. PittGirl?
I'm good. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Mish?
It is Tuesday. That is correct. Yes.
It is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. When we're recording this, yes. Do you feel that energy? Do you feel the energy of the season approaching? Like I have this weird excitement, like it is getting closer and closer. I'm starting to get hyped for week 0 in my head. We got tagged in a poll, and they were like, the Sickos game is Hawaii at Vanderbilt. And I'm like, why did you pick that one? I mean, You could have picked, UMass at New Mexico State. That's a little bit more up our alley, but we're going to watch both either way. And then that stupid Vandy rumor saying that they weren't going to be able to play in their stadium because it wasn't ready and they're going to play in a high school stadium. I was like, they caught me for like a minute on that fake tweet. And then they're just like, they keep tagging us. And I'm like, it's fake. It's not real. They're going to be playing with construction in their end zones, similar to San Jose State. All right.
Or Vandy Oregon State. Or
Oregon State. Yes.
Or the Vegas Vipers.
That's right. The scaffolding.
Jesus Christ. No one needs to make shit up about college football. This sport is stupid enough as it is.
Yes.
Don't make shit up.
Yes. To us, if it's not real, it's not Sickos. Like it doesn't, we have to verify the whatever you state for it to be Sickos. I mean, look at what's going on in college football now. It's incredibly Sickos. We don't need to add more fake stuff. Just let the truth set you free in the Sickos football nature here. Let's just do it.
Well, we need to talk to our ACC members here, Katie and PittGirl first, about the ACC breaking into big conference realignment now. I need some opinions on Cal, Stanford, and SMU to the ACC. Go.
I wish podcast.
Don't
was a
everybody speak
visual
at once.
medium.
Oh, gosh.
Both of
Sure.
them just hands in the
Yeah.
head.
Mhm.
I personally welcome the Stanford tree.
Mhm.
Pony excess. Like, I'm ready for SMU. I mean, I don't know. And Oski.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good, good
All right.
mascot.
I'm getting more comfortable.
I can't wait to believe that I'm hallucinating Oski drinking through his eye at 2 a.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Actual, like, semi-serious answer here. SMU is welcome too. The Pony Express is legal now. But what I think we, as the ACC, should do, if we're taking Cal and Stanford, I think we should also take Wazoo and Oregon State and just make them a pod. It cuts down on travel costs. And more importantly, it means that someday there will be a Pitt Washington State game in Pullman. And I will
Christ.
have an excuse to go and eat my body weight in Cougar Gold and Fireball.
I'm 100%.
And that's
on
all
board
I
with
want
this.
out of this.
I'm on board with this. I like this.
I hate the realignment stuff, and they keep leaving out Oregon State and Wazoo. Take them. They are
It's-
awesome.
Bullshit. They're so much fun.
Yes, the Beaver Cougs Alliance. You know what? If they wind up being the Pac-2, I don't care. Keep them auto qualifying status. The
Yes.
autonomous Cougar and Beaver. One of them has to make. I don't care what their record is. They have to get a bowl game every year, no matter what. Just those two. If you know they get left behind, the Beavers, the Cougars, we love you. I mean, I think I need to put this on the list, Jordan. But we need Shadow. You know, we had the Shadow Beaver. We need the Shadow
Coug.
Cougar. We need the Shadow Stanford Tree. And we need Shadow Oski.
Do you guys know of the Isles of Scilly, Scilly, in off of Cornwall in Britain?
I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna drop their
No.
flag. I'm dropping their flag in the chat.
Yeah, I mostly know the Isle of Man.
So this is a place that is a little island off the edge of Cornwall. So if England has that little like tip sort of on the side, it's off of that. And they have a football team there. In fact, they have two. And the football league has two teams. They've played since the 1910s, and they just play each other 15 times a year. That's the league.
Just the two?
That's
Yep,
it.
just the two. They play each other. It's the Woolpack Wanderers and the Garrison Gunners. They also have a cup tournament, by the way. So there's the main league and then the cup tournament too. This is what we can do. We can just have them play over and over again, and it's fine. I don't care.
One is a conference game, the rest are all non-cons. Love it.
That's it.
No, they're
Yeah.
all
I mean-
conference games. Fuck it, they're all conference games.
They're all conference. So they, you know, Oregon State and Wazoo, let's say they get 6 non-conference games. So like they get to go play other people, whatever, other teams.
Mhm.
And then for half of their schedule, it is a home and 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 home.
Mhm.
Series. I think I got the right amount of homes in there. Maybe too many. I don't know.
When I win the Mega Millions, I will make this a thing.
That's all right.
Oh, when I'm in the Mega Millions, we're buying a fucking bowl game series.
I already said I'm buying the New Mexico Bowl.
Okay.
So we can
Wait,
put the Sickos guy
what
on the
is-
pot.
What does series mean? Tell me more about series.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like we should buy not just one bowl game, but have a bunch. What is it?
Yeah.
Roofclaim.com
I like
had
this.
like 40 of them, and they're fake as shit.
Yeah.
Cheez-Its had 2 of them.
I mean,
Yes,
that's right.
they did. That's true. That's true.
Mhm. I think we should just start a conference, and we're going to put Oregon State and Wazoo in it, and no one else.
Yeah, fuck it. You guys don't get to
I
play.
support that.
That's it.
You guys
Conference
can
of
split all
Champions.
your money 50-50.
You wanna,
Yeah, bad news, all of you who listen to this podcast. Look to your heart, ask yourself who your team is, and understand that if we're picking for a conference, there's a really good chance that Oregon State and Wazoo are both coming off the board before whatever your team is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A very good chance.
If you want to talk about something that I didn't think about with realignment, but Brett McMurphy said it today, that the Pac-12 is having to seek new conference bowl tie-ins starting in 2024, and then this quote. With leagues expanding to 16 teams, some bowls may feature 2 teams from the same conference that they didn't play in the regular season. What the fuck are we doing?
We live in the dumbest fucking timeline. Truly the dumbest timeline. Linear time was a mistake specifically because it brought us here.
We have to go back and fix this. We're rapidly approaching the point where we have to get back in the DeLorean and
Yeah.
go fix this timeline.
College
Hey,
football.
Pitt, you want to play Duke in the Pinstripe Bowl?
Oh God. Oh, her face.
Her
I-
face.
Oh, PittGirl's
Honestly,
face just.
it is difficult to think of things I would like to do less. And I enjoyed the Pinstripe Bowl the last time I went, but I
Mhm.
don't want to play Duke there. No, thank you.
Hey, Pitt, you want to play Syracuse in the Military Bowl?
Blah.
And they would, and here's the thing: the big conferences would rather play a fucking repeat game than deign to play a fucking MAC team. So we're gonna
Well,
get these awful,
I mean-
awful matchups as opposed to just
I mean, the last time Pitt played a MAC team, the quarterback punched somebody.
The EMU quarterback
Yes,
punched
yeah.
somebody. Also, that's not
The Western
true
Michigan
because we've
quarterback.
played and lost and also
Western
beaten
Michigan.
Western Michigan
Western-
since then.
Western
We're just
Michigan's
talking
been
about a
something.
bowl game here.
Oh yeah,
Bowl
sorry.
specific. Bowl specific.
Commish out here threatening us all with a good time.
Yeah, really.
That was amazing when that happened. I was like, oh my god, he threw a punch.
Shout out to my man Mike Glass.
Every once in a while, we get a same league team, teams being in a bowl game. This happened to like San Jose State, Wyoming at one point recently, but it is rare.
Well, I mean, I did a Substack post on it, and then I
Right.
realized it was actually because of segregation. It happened a lot more.
Right.
So yes, I was like, it's only happened basically after integration,
Mhm.
full integration, twice.
Okay.
I think it was like 69, and then in 2015.
Right. I remember that one.
It was the Arizona Bowl.
Yeah.
It was two Mountain West teams, and I think it was Nevada and Wyoming. I think
Sure. Okay. I can't remember who it was.
maybe, I don't know.
If your conferences are so fucking big that you have bowl games to put teams together to play, that's a problem in and of itself.
Right?
And if you're too afraid to play a fucking G5 team and you'd rather just play someone in your own conference, this is just, the wheels are coming off fast and I'm not happy here.
I really think it's time for me to take over as commish of the Sickos Committee. I need to become the commissioner of, Division I football. Sorry, NCAA. Everybody back to where you were before. The Frontier Conference is back.
How far back are we rewinding?
Yeah,
this?
I was
going-
gonna say, how far back are we going?
We're going back. We're going back in time. We're going to the DeLorean days, conference-wise.
Independent
Yes.
Florida State. Okay, we're back
Yeah.
there.
Independent
Pitt
Florida
is
State back. Yeah, Independent Pitt back. Independent Penn
Independent
State
WV back.
done back. Right, back.
Southwest
Wherever-
Conference back.
Wherever your team wants to be, back.
Yeah,
That's right.
this is kindergarten commish. Get back to your carpet square.
Get back to your carpet square. It is nap time. Everybody back to your fucking conferences where you came from and take a fucking nap and stop fucking moving. No more fucking realignment.
I really want, God, kindergarten teacher commish is not something I knew I wanted, but it's something that I desperately want now.
We need it.
I mean,
I know how he
didn't we
rolls with one of them. I was in
Didn't-
25
I mean, he
of
already
them.
does. He has his corner where he gives us story time, so
True.
it kind of
I
fits.
do. I have story time. I have another story cooked up for you later. And, I do want to let you know it's not a tumor. That's a little kindergarten cop humor.
Yeah, for the
you
young people, there was a movie called Kindergarten Cop starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I
Yes.
remember this movie.
Okay,
Okay.
just making sure. Just
Right.
making sure.
Most kindergartners are cops. This is well known.
folks. That's right.
They're
I
all
learned-
Notre
Notre
Dame
Dame
fans. You heard it
Uh-huh.
here first.
All Notre Dame fans. Until they grow out of that phase. But hey, Notre Dame, you want to be independent? Fine with us. Keep hanging on to your independence, Notre Dame. Never give in. Never give in, Notre Dame.
Never.
No.
Never.
Never. Do-
Hold on to that NBC contract.
Unless you go to the MAC, in which case I'm all about you giving it.
Okay. Notre Dame Mac. I like that.
MAC Notre Dame, I'm actually all about. It's fine there.
Mac
What
shoe.
would be the weirdest conference for Notre Dame to join?
Honestly, probably the MAC.
Yeah, the MAC feels like the
Yeah.
most.
Notre Dame to the Mountain West.
Oh, that's
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Notre Dame to the Sun Belt. That feels really
Ooh.
weird.
I was gonna say Sunbelt because they're not fun and no.
Oh. I'd love to see the Fighting Irish
good
in
though.
Monroe, Louisiana.
Notre Dame to the SoCon.
Notre Dame to the UAC.
Yes.
To the UAC.
Whack is
Ooh-ah.
back. Folks.
Ooh-ah.
Whack.
We have other interesting quotes about this, about various realignment things. The Arizona president, Bobby Robbins, on selling Apple TV packages, the quote is, "We were trying to think, well, it's going to be like selling candy bars for Little League. That's what you want to do with your $1 million brand."
Hi,
I just-
I am Arizona President Bobby Robbins, and I am selling candy bars door to door. Please subscribe to Apple Plus the Pac-12, not just the
I know
North
it-
Base Apple.
I know it's not actually going to work this way because money isn't real and none of this is real, so none of it actually conforms to reality. But, we understand that this isn't a collapsing industry, right?
Yeah.
Like, ESPN's laid off what feels like 60% of their workforce. Cable companies are so strapped for everything. We have the writers and the actors on strike right now because nobody can figure out how to actually make money out of like media companies and entertainment generally. So you have to think that the next time they go to negotiate these contracts, it's going to be like, here's $7 and some bottle caps you can split 16 ways, I guess. This is so ridiculous.
Mhm. Then
No,
we
the
have.
line's gonna go up forever, Beth.
Yeah, right. No, line goes up
Line go
forever.
up forever. It never goes down. We're just talking about line go up.
Line go
Private
up.
equity.
That's why the Florida State private equity is a great idea.
That's a great idea. What could
Good idea.
possibly go
What could
wrong?
possibly go wrong? There was never a crash in 2007, 8, or anything like that. No.
Nothing. Not
Oh
nothing.
my gosh. College football is going to cause our next great recession.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
I'm
I
excited
kind
for
of
that,
am
actually.
terrified and also can't wait. It's going to be
When-
great.
The big
When Bain Capital rolls into Tallahassee and lays off Renegade, it's going to be a big problem. Sorry.
I just can't
Sorry.
wait till we're talking about Big Ten tranches.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know they're
You
gonna
got
blame
your-
NIL on that.
You got your Ohio State tranches up here. Down here at the bottom, you got your Indiana tranches. They're garbage tranches. But we
Oh my
we got a
God.
Big Ten, and the whole thing looks good.
I'll tell you what, The Big Short 2 is going to be one hell of a movie.
But also, Miami is going to be heavily involved in all of this. The University of Miami.
But
Miami.
they were
They're
heavily
gonna
involved
be-
in the first Big Short.
Yeah, yeah,
That's right. I mean, Miami's going to be underwater. Maybe literally, too.
yeah. In many different ways, Miami's going to be underwater.
Oh my God.
Just sell them to FIU at cost. FIU, Miami on the Miami on the pennies on the dollar. FIU North.
So many
baby.
mergers and acquisitions. I can't wait. I'm so
FIU,
excited.
Miami, and FAU merge. Like all college football teams come together to form, one.
And Florida Gulf Coast University, maybe too.
Yes, sure.
Throw them in
Throw
there.
them in there too. Why not?
UCF and UF are going to merge. That's going to be
Oh, yeah, that's-
amazing.
Oh God, would that be like UCFF or I don't
The
know.
The Citrigator. The Gator Nut.
The
I
Gator
feel like
Nut.
the
I love
Citrigator
that.
would
not
actually be
besmirch
cool
the
as hell.
Citronaut. Do not besmirch
You're going to
the
see
Citronaut.
every single school from like Tennessee to Penn State merge into the Free State of Appalachia University.
That's right.
I'm fine with that.
And,
Yeah, I
and
don't
still,
mind that.
Different. That's different from App State.
and Louisiana Tech and ULM will never merge. They just
No,
hate each other.
just-
Something
No.
like that. It's never. I swear.
What would happen in Texas? There's so many schools there. Oh gosh.
We also had Arizona State AD Ray Anderson discussing the move to the Big 12, going, I promise I'm not going to Morgantown. I'm going to sign that to an AD John Boyd. He can go to Morgantown, but send me to Texas and the rivalry with Arizona and starting a new one with BYU, Utah, and Colorado.
And so I put in the notes, Beth, please yell at him.
You fucking asshole. You don't hear me out here being like, I'm not going to go to Arizona. I bet that state sucks. Like, there's plenty of cool things in Morgantown. And you know what? We're just fine with you not coming by, I guess. That's totally cool. We'll keep all the Tudor's Biscuit World to ourselves, and you can go to, I don't know, wherever you want to go, staying in your own state or staying nearby. So I guess no frequent flyer miles for you. Like, ugh.
I would like additionally to add that he is a coward.
Well, yeah,
and that
clearly.
there are many Pitt fans, including me, going to Morgantown, despite the reputation that some West Virginia fans, not the one on this podcast, have about being unwelcoming to opposing fans. And yet,
You don't think that Arizona State students and West Virginia students are going to get along fucking swimmingly? It's going to be great.
It is.
We had a bowl game against them.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, people got along quite well, as I understand it.
We're going to have... You want to talk about bull babies? Let's get some bull babies up in this, okay? Get some moonshine going, and yeah, I got bull babies. It's great. I'm excited for this.
Bull baby.
Sure,
Yep.
that's a thing. That's a thing.
Start making moonshine tequila cocktails.
I mean,
Let's do this
Okay,
thing.
okay. A Morgantown sunrise.
Nice.
Oh no.
I mean, moonshine with a little
Half-
orange juice.
Half
little
añejo, half añejo, half moonshine,
Use the lemon drop moonshine. It'll be
Cool.
better for
Huh?
this.
That'd be
and
good.
then
Okay.
you pour grenadine on top,
Oh, yes.
and then a little coal dust on the rim.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It
And then
also
you
has
drop
to be
it, and then
enjoyed.
then you drop a shot of Fireball into it.
Yes.
Now you did it.
Done.
Good morning.
And it has to be enjoyed on like a flaming couch, a burning
Yeah.
couch.
Yo,
Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
Right. And if you want to make it like if you want to do it like the fancy way, like the over-the-top milkshakes, then you take one of the like 2 fist-size biscuits from Tudor's Biscuit World, and you just like cut it a little bit and just put it on the rim.
Ooh, yes, like a fancy, like one of those
Yeah.
over the top fucking tomato cocktail. Help me,
Yeah.
Bloody Marys.
Bloody
Bloody
Marys.
Yeah. Here's a here's a flaky bread softball to enjoy with your beverage.
If there isn't a cocktail called the Flaming Couch, we need to develop it this season.
I'm sure there is.
There's got to
Google
be
it.
one.
Flaming couch.
Flaming
drink
couch.
recipe.
Google search. Flaming couch. drink.
Google just
Make
gives you
sure
the
to put
flaming
Here's-
mo.
here's
cocktail
my-
can, because
So
otherwise I
here's
feel like
my
things
immediate
are wrong.
autocorrect. I went Flaming Couch Drur, and I got Flaming Couch drink recipe, Morgantown, West Virginia. The
Yeah,
first article, however, is a PA brewery launching the Burning Couch drink.
Okay.
So
My first 3 results: the Burning Couch by Brewing Green, Burning Couch by Abolitionist Ale Works, and then
Yeah.
the next one after that is Flaming Moe's.
Yeah, I got the flaming mo, and then I got a Southern Comfy couch.
Okay, I did find one. It's called the Ignited Couch Bomb.
Oh,
This is 1.5 ounces moonshine, 6 ounces Mountain Dew, fire optional.
hold
No,
on.
thank you.
Oh,
I scrolled down further, and it said BYU studies burning the couch. The world is riddled with grace shot through. No, I'm not gonna read anymore. Shot through controversy and love and light. Child's eyes staring back at you in the mostly darkness of the morning. What the
What's
hell?
going on?
And then right below it, Etsy burning couch.
what?
I don't know.
We have broken Google. Holy shit.
I
Go
just want to take a second to shout out one of the PA breweries who is now making a beer called Couchfire. Shout out to Springhouse in Lancaster. Despite their predilections to make WVU inspired beer, they make great beer. They're from my hometown. Would recommend.
I googled flaming couch drinks, and the third one down is a Reddit post where they have a video of a server accidentally like dropping one of those, those shots that they light on fire,
Yeah.
dropping it onto the patron, and her pants catching on fire.
Okay.
It's
Oh
great.
no.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not good.
That's why.
It's
That's
great.
why most bars don't do flaming shots anymore.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. It's a terrible.
I remember
idea.
doing that as a bartender in college. I did a lot of. I made a lot of flaming shots. I'm glad I'm safe. I'll just say that. No burns. We're good.
I'll share it.
it is important to understand that like part of what makes the couch burning thing a thing at West Virginia is not the fact that like they take couches and they light them on fire. It's the fact that they take couches, they light them on fire on top of Sunnyside Hill, and then they roll them down to the bottom of Sunnyside Hill.
Okay. They're moving flaming couches. Okay.
Yeah. So think of it more like a very exciting parade.
A better Rose Bowl parade.
Take that. Take that, Rose Bowl.
It's a fun thing that like you're walking back to your car and you're like, oh hey look, that's a Pontiac Sunfire
That's
on fire.
That's right. That's right, Ray McDonald. Again, you could be going. I'm sorry, Ray Anderson. Ray McDonald. Jesus Christ. That's right, Ray Anderson. You could be going to that couch parade because we know you're not going to go to the Rose Bowl parade.
And let's be honest, you're the Arizona State ID. I think we all know where you'd feel more at home. I'm gonna go to BYU. Yeah, that makes sense.
Why would a Big 12 team be in the Rose Bowl? Big 12 teams don't go to the Rose Bowl. Arizona State's a Big 12 team.
That's right.
That's
TCU
true.
went to the Rose Bowl that one time, but also we live in the worst timeline. I hate this. Take us
'Cause
back.
when I said that, it was awful, right?
It's
When
When I
awful.
said that, like everyone's
we're going
body's
back
like,
in the
I saw
time.
all of you.
Back in the
like,
time. We're back.
That's
Sorry.
it. Back in the TARDIS.
Back
Marty,
back
we got to talk about your kid. It's your kids, Marty. We got to fix your kids.
Did we go back too far and now the Rose Bowl will just take everybody, and by everybody I mean mostly just Pitt?
This seems like a good problem.
We went too far. We went too far.
We went too far. Marty, we got to put Tulane back in the SEC.
Okay, it's the end of Back to the Future 1. But when Doc comes up, it's not like Marty, we got to fix the SEC. We got to get Tulane back.
Gotta get
But
Tulane
it's
back.
also the end of Back. But it's also the end of Back to the Future 3 because we're not even using a car for this. We're trying to make a steam train do this. Sorry for the spoilers for Back to the Future 3.
Oh, yeah, by the way, in case you haven't watched Back to the Future 3 yet. We also, of course, had someone chip in on his opinion on Converse realignment. It was Jimbo Fisher. And Jimbo Fisher opened his goddamn mouth and said, unfortunately, we're in a time now that everybody's fighting over the dollar.
In the notes
Wait.
I put here, Katie, please yell at Jimbo Fisher.
The
I
aristocrats.
can't even yell at this. Yes. I can't even yell at this man anymore. Just, babe, let's rethink something. Oh, that man.
Shutting up is always an option. Not saying anything is also an option.
The hypocrisy of all of these coaches, though, talking about this, and I'm like, buds. Like, oh.
I will give a shout out to Eli Drinkwitz. I appreciated his comments. That was very
What
nice.
did he say?
He was very, very well thought out and talking about the athletes and what they're going through, and that we didn't think about the athletes when this was done. Also, you know that meme from The Onion? It says the worst guy you know.
Mhm.
Makes a great point. Mike Gundy had some really, really good words. I kind of really appreciate his thoughts here. Let me see if I can find what he said.
Kind of shocking. Sorry.
Yeah,
Damn. The worst guy we know really did have some.
Yeah,
good thoughts.
so
Is
here
Hugh
you
Freeze
go.
going to be next? Good lord.
So I'm going to say, I'm going to preface this is Mike Gundy. He was asked this spring when he told me he suspects the future of the college football as a 30-team mega conference and why he thinks that. First off, he started, I'm a man, I'm 40. Gundy then said,
He's not 40 anymore, though.
well, I mean, he still wants you to believe it there. It's still his 40th birthday. Just like everybody going to celebrate, I'm still 29, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Fair.
Whatever.
Fair.
I'm a man. Is he 50, 52? I have no idea.
55. That was 15 years ago.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. All right. I'm a man. I'm 55. Mike Gundy said they're going to pay big money to put it on TV, and those 30 schools are going to thrive. They're going to be rich. Their athletic departments are going to be rich, and their sports are going to thrive. And then the other schools that don't make it, they're just going to hold on. I think that's eventually what's going to happen in college football because everything we do is driven by the television market. Like they want to shorten games. People say, what do you want? They don't care what I want. It's what TV wants. TV runs the show. I don't run the show. TV pays all our salaries and all our scholarships and everything we do. TV runs the market. Whatever they want, that's what we do. They called and wanted us to play on Friday night. I said, who does? They said TV. I said, I think that's great. What about the high school football conflict? I love high school football, but high schools ain't paying my bills. Is it like the broken clock,
Yeah.
right? Twice a day or something?
Mhm.
Is that what it is? I'm a man. I'm 55.
55.
Jesus Christ. We got to go back in time. It's 55 miles, 1955, right? Doesn't that work with the Back to the Future
It
thing?
wasn't 55
Maybe
miles per
he's
hour.
getting wiser.
It was
with
88 miles an hour.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a man.
Sammy Hagar can't drive
You
55.
can't drive
No.
55.
He's a man. He has an AARP discount.
You can sign up for AARP at any age, by the way. Don't let
can.
your age stop you from getting those sweet discounts.
PittGirl, you signed up.
I am not, but one of my work
I'm
besties
still
is and
throwing
she's my
away
age.
those.
I'm getting the
Those
mailers.
emails still get trashed every time. Yep.
I think
same.
I got my first mailer when I was 23.
I almost considered signing up the other day when I looked at a Buick and I said, hey, that's not half bad.
Oh, God
No.
damn. Oh, my God.
Was it a brown Buick?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I was like, oh,
What is wrong with you?
I've just turned to dust.
What color was it?
It was a nice silver. So it's fine.
Oh, that's
Okay.
It's
I feel like
again,
they only come in silver and brown.
white.
or like beige, yes.
I'm white.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Very
like,
neutral,
white.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I looked at it, and the other career that I have, I was like, oh, this is a really safe car, 5-star safety.
Oh,
rating.
my fucking God.
No.
Just buy a Volvo.
Go
Good
buy
lord.
a golf cart.
Hey, what did you say?
Buy a golf
What'd you
cart.
say? No, PittGirl.
A Volvo?
I already have one.
Oh, there you go.
Do not go gentle into that good night.
Rage against the dying of the light.
This has been the Dylan Thomas Hour.
And then the fun thing that I learned in college that all the cool kids or all the teenagers in China, they want Buicks.
Okay.
Wait, really?
Yes.
So are you trying to
Interesting.
tell us that instead of an old man, you're a cool Chinese teen?
Sure. Whatever.
Before we got on here, Katie admitted that she had started watching the Johnny Manziel documentary on Netflix.
I stopped it like halfway through.
Uh,
Guys, I have to admit, he is one of my favorite college football players because he was so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He is
Like-
one of the definitions of a college football player.
And watching when they, I think I'm 40 minutes in. I'll finish it before I go to bed. Watching when they beat Miami, sorry. Oh, God, that's Freudian slip there. Watching when they beat Bama. Oh my gosh. It was so much fun. It's just so much fun.
Oh, somebody has spotted Jay Arnold, podcast guest,
Yes.
in the dock in the background, just screaming after a
Oh,
big win.
fun. I need to watch for that.
The two interesting things I have to talk about from this are that first, the documentary apparently talks about his time with the Cleveland Browns and that he watched zero tape. Like his iPad
That
timer said
seems
0.00.
You know what? I commemorate those who can reduce their screen time.
Yep.
We're all trying to lower it.
That's right.
Good for him.
You guys, the other day, I thought about this. Like, if anyone ever asked me my screen time, I think I would be more. Like, if I had to admit
Nope,
it,
I
would
refuse.
be mortified.
No.
That is
It's-
between me and Apple and God.
Yep, it is bad.
If
I should be actively working to make it better, and it's bad.
see, I
You should live the Johnny Manziel lifestyle then.
I mish mine up because a lot of times I'll keep YouTube open while I'm listening to something. And so if my wife ever looks at my screen time, I'm like, oh, well, I had YouTube open above. Like, I was using it for audio. I was just listening to things. It's not my full time. It can't be.
It's so important to keep everything in your life in perfect balance. And it just so happens that you happen to need more vibes to make up for like a little bit of thought weight.
Mhm.
Johnny Manziel understood that. He understood that your life needs to be at least 96% vibes to counteract the 4% of thoughts. That's
That-
just science math.
That is good coaching.
Mhm.
I need you to be my life coach with that. That's great. You're just justifying everything. It's great.
Beth, you've got a third act now, and it's life coach. The best part of all this was there was an article from the Guardian, the UK Guardian, that I'll read the full quote here, talking about that Alabama victory. That victory, the film rightly points out, didn't just make Manziel a household name across the U.S. It also changed the economics at Texas A&M, a military school in the Lone Star hinterlands.
Just the absolute shade.
As soon as
makes
they
it-
said
Here,
hinterlands, like the Game of Thrones theme just started going in my head.
I want to point something out very quickly. Prior to Jimbo Fisher coming or going to Texas A&M, I would have defended, especially with Johnny Manziel there and Kevin Sumlin, defended Texas A&M to the death. Like, reading this, I'm like, no, you cannot say that about, like, Johnny Manziel, Texas A&M. But because Jimbo Fisher's there now, I'm like, no, I can't defend it.
That's just bullshit. Yeah. Mhm.
And I try to explain, like, my alliances in college football to friends, and they're always like, this makes no sense, and anyway, sorry.
This description of Texas A&M has sort of the same energy as that time that they tried to make Mexican food on Great British Bake Off. Like, they kind of get it. They kind of get it, but they also really, really
Guacamole.
don't. And someone's over there, like, trying to peel an avocado with a potato peeler.
Say that again, Andrew. How did they say guacamole?
Guacamole.
It makes it sound like A&M is West Point, but like Brigadoon. It only comes off the mists every 7 years. And Miss Rev guides you down.
I'm picturing it like where Texas Tech is based off of this description too, and there's just like tumbleweeds rolling by. Like,
Of course, if you ask me to describe, okay, where is, I don't know, whatever school in the UK, I'd probably have a similar thing. I wouldn't describe it as the hinterlands, and unless it's a military academy, I probably wouldn't call it a military school. But there are many A&M fans who are looking at this and going like, this is fine. Like, this vibe is correct. And
It's mostly right. They got there.
so
Out in
close.
the hinterlands, there be Buckies.
Hinterlands, I mean, even the definition's like, oh, it's unmapped, uncharted territory. It's fucking College Station. There's a Buc-ee's there. There are major highways there.
This has a big, like, Lil Ol' Clemson vibe to it.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever someone describes, like, it's like, oh, Phoenix, Arizona, this small town out in the middle of the desert. Motherfucker, it's got like 5 million people. There's a reason why they're all dying of heat stroke out there.
it's like I think it's still the fastest growing city in the whole country. Like, I mean, don't move there. The concrete will burn your skin, but people do.
Before I get to Der Wiener Schlinger, and I'm very excited to talk about Der Wiener Schlinger, trust me. It's not in the show notes, but I need to talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
Did you guys see Breon Ramsey Brooks, the TCU
Oh yes,
offensive lineman?
yes.
I'm gonna drop the.
Oh my god,
I
I've
dropped
watched
it.
that YouTube video so many times, and
Yeah.
I giggle throughout
We're gonna
the whole thing.
we are gonna do a joint link watching in a moment.
Okay, perfect.
This young gentleman is a freshman at TCU. He's from Dallas, Texas. Went to South Oak Cliff High School. Won the 5A D2 championship last year. This boy is 455 pounds, 6'5". He's an offensive lineman,
Yes,
and we're gonna watch some video of him playing, and you're going to see someone do things that, oh my god.
it's a lot of fun.
I don't remember who said it, but I think it might have been Commish. But yeah, on these stat sheets, they always like to inflate the numbers a little bit. But this guy, He looks it.
Yeah, I was like, when they weigh in, they tend to fudge the numbers, but we're gonna believe TCU on this one.
When he was dominating opponents in high school, he was only 380.
Yes. So apparently he's put on 75 pounds.
Yeah. And so I'm going to bring this up, and we're going to see how fast this kid is, because holy hell, he is fast and big. The best part about this is that they keep giving him the little like circle highlight.
You don't need it.
You don't need it.
There you go.
Here we go.
Enjoy. We can. Put the music on. I don't care. It's
I got you.
Whatever.
Oh, that's where he is.
Just holding on to him for
Oh, that poor kid is trying to defend him.
Oh, this was
off the screen. Bye.
Oh,
Bye.
This is when he just takes him through the entire end zone.
Bye. On the track. Keep going.
You're coming with me.
Some say that he's still being pushed through the bleachers to this day.
It's gone.
If you're a running back, like, why don't you just follow him?
Oh my god.
Oh,
This is my favorite. When he pulls on the screen. Watch the high school quarterback.
So, watching these videos makes me wish the Piesman was still a thing.
Oh god, yes.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if this guy ever gets a fumble recovery?
Oh my god, we're gonna go nuts.
I'll be so happy.
Just hold
It's like
on.
watching a tree run. This is
I'm
amazing.
gonna follow TCU just for this player.
Yes.
Oh my
I mean, he's
God.
a freshman, but yes.
So, cool. I have 4 years to follow TCU.
Yes, you do. I mean,
Maybe
we're gonna
5.
follow anyway.
Drags him. Won't let go.
And then he
He
like
is the
pancaked
two
him at the
linemen
end.
by himself. I bet he'll see playing time this season. He's so big. You can't teach size.
But
Bye.
that
Off
was
the
a-
screen.
I think I could run through that hole. Where's the other one that I'm waiting? Yeah, that's the one he's sitting on top of him. That was amazing. There's another one that is.
Dude, oh god.
I think. Oh, this one. Here it is. No, that wasn't. Wait, one more. I'm waiting to see it.
Oh my god.
Like, some of these, he does it so nonchalantly, too. It's like the Steven Seagal karate video, where he just kind of, like, moves and everybody goes flying.
Yes,
God, it's just so good.
it's like 2.5 minutes.
Oh
Yeah, there it is. Again, if you were a running back, just follow him. Like, why would you?
right there, perfect.
Yeah, like that one.
Just follow him. Amazing.
I cannot wait to watch my Neil Brown coached team deal with this.
It'd be great.
You're gonna love it.
You see so many players, they're making business decisions on their lives. Just going like, nope, I'm going to opt out of this play. So one of our followers said, like, I would just say I had mono that week.
We got some breaking news. Beth has announced via the podcast chat she is now joining the ACC.
I'm very excited, and I look forward to my future in my new conference.
We're so glad to have you.
And lastly, for our news segment, we have Der Wiener Schlinger, which is Iowa's air-powered hot dog gun.
Yes, Iowa invented the air-powered hot dog gun.
They
I-
did.
I
I
for
heard
heard
invaders
that.
in food delivery.
I put this in the notes again because I wanted particular people to yell at things. So the corn correspondent, the bean broadcaster, and the Runza reporter, Nebraska, Andrew, the Nebraska one, please yell at Iowa. Go right ahead for this.
Okay, I am not going to pretend that Nebraska has invented the taco cannon, or sorry, not the taco cannon, the hot dog cannon.
Mhm.
I'm sure other schools have done it. Plenty of people have probably seen a t-shirt cannon and said, what else can we shoot out of this? But Nebraska is the one that, at least around here, is most famous for it. We have a home field apparel shirt for it.
Let's say
I own that shirt.
I need to get that shirt. I don't own it yet. The one thing is, I'm surprised Nebraska didn't trademark the name Der Wiener Schlinger. I don't know if maybe Wimmers, the company that's now branding with Iowa, maybe they own the name and they're allowed to do it. But also, with the coming of Matt Rule, we now have a Gatling gun.
Yeah, you do.
So if you want to get into a hot dog fight, Iowa, bring it. Let's go. We also... Oh, yes, PittGirl?
I have done some hasty research, and the internet has indicated to me that the hot dog cannon was invented by Hatfield Meats, which makes the official hot dog of the Phillies, and it debuted in 1996 in Philadelphia.
With the Fanatics, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Also, I said Taco Cannon earlier. University of Nebraska Omaha, they briefly had a taco shooting gun for their hockey games.
Oh, I love
So
that.
yes,
Please tell me it shot hard shell tacos.
No, they were soft shell.
Oh, okay.
They were not true
Cowardice.
They were not true street tacos, but they were in that style, wrapped in tinfoil and launched. And I remember the Fun Fest down in Austin, I believe. They kind of elbowed Omaha for that because apparently they had a taco Gatling gun. So really, it's just meat missiles, food missiles, warfare all over. Yeah. Iowa is not innovative for this. They're just stealing.
Okay, so you can shoot your meat projectiles out of whatever siege weaponry you choose to do, but I have serious problems with the names of this because you're trying to make a fun German pronunciation joke, and my friends, you spelled Wiener Viener. The letter V in German is pronounced F, like the letter F. So you made der Wienerschlinger. Good job, idiots.
I was just thinking about what would be a kind of weirdly dense food you could shoot. What if you launched Chipotle burritos
Oh god,
at that
you'd kill a person.
speed, right? This is
the Simpsons episode when
I
Maud
was
dies.
just saying the mods. Yep, the Maud Flanders episode. Yep,
What
any of
about
you-
just uncooked potatoes?
that's a potato gun. I mean, that
that's
is a
fair.
weapon.
Okay, fine.
They-
See,
Have any of you ever used like a t-shirt gun or a hot dog gun or anything?
Yeah.
no.
I made a radish gun once. It could shoot very, very far.
So my senior year, I was my undergrad's mascot, and I got to use the t-shirt gun, and it is a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm still thinking about like siege weaponry because Beth specified siege weaponry.
Mhm.
What if we put a whole ham in a trebuchet?
Oh god.
Oh, love that.
Okay, I like your idea. I don't feel like it has enough gunpowder. How does ham mortar treat you?
Ooh, yes. Yeah.
Just lob it right over the walls and put a big dent in the other side.
We're-
Ham cannon, but
we're
like an
just
actual like
now-
Revolutionary War cannon.
We're just now going to relitigate World War I with food. This is just what this is.
What if the Paris guns, but a side of beef?
The University of Hawaii debuts their spam cannon.
Oh, now, wait a second. You might be onto something here.
Now we're back in the Second Battle of Ypres,
Oh,
but
yes,
okay.
yes.
We're just
If
going to
I
take
had-
the lids off some spam canisters.
If I had spam musubi flying at me, I would be so happy. I'm just gonna say that.
Before we go to our second half, let's talk about let's plug our things first.
Plug the
First off,
things.
we've got our Sickos Committee Patreon and Discord for $5 a month. You get access to our extra podcasts and our Discord and the ability to throw in ideas and all sorts of stuff. The chat on there right now, today we've been talking about a bunch of stuff. I've been dragging up old newspaper articles about why the forward pass sucks. I found a beautiful one about Fielding Yost in 1908 being like the forward pass is the most, it described it as a promiscuous thing.
Can we like put that in an old-timey font and put it on a t-shirt, please?
Yes, I will. I absolutely do that. Also, we have Commish's Corner. Episode 4 is coming out this Friday. The mini podcasts are all available on our Patreon feed, and you can get them directly in your podcast player as long as that player is not Spotify.
You can play it on Patreon. They can do like 1.5 speed, 1.2 speed, whatever. The podcast player on Patreon has improved a lot.
Get
But if you
Overcast.
want to-
Just download Overcast.
I mean, just go to Overcast, get the RSS feed, go that way. We have instructions on Patreon for that. I realize now that I need to do that tonight. So anybody wants to join me for that one, you're welcome to.
We also have a merch store that's at sickos-committee.sellfy.store. We've got our new Sickos Weather Service gear, as well as some stuff for the fall, so make your purchases now. Shout out to the Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go to all those awful places that I refuse to go because Lord knows my brain doesn't want to rot like that.
Mhm.
We also did... Go
Oh,
ahead.
I wanted to give a shout out to 3-Year Letterman, like his NASCAR dog profile
Mhm.
that wanted to ban fall funerals also. That was hilarious. I know it's not a real post that people think is a real post, but he's amazing. He's the one that said it, how old have you barked at somebody before and how young until you bark at somebody. So he like banned fall funerals. He's like, you could put the body in a freezer and then have the service after the season's over. Because if you die during the season, you're just being selfish. If you have
When
your
you
shoe.
think about it, Great Grandpa Obadiah is really nothing more than a wedding cake topper.
Mhm. 2 for 1. Get a twofer.
That's a big cake.
Incredible.
Grandpa Obadiah goes into the pop out of the wedding cake and just doesn't make it, and you've got a twofer right there.
Uh-huh.
What's
It's like the opposite of a New Orleans funeral.
Oh,
It's like the celebration part happens first.
what's a cremation oven except a giant cake baker?
keep going.
Everyone just wins.
Yeah, like first you bake the cake, and then you just put it on self-clean for the oven.
Yep.
It's fine.
Then we have No Context Football Season Preview for 2023 for $10. You get all the preview you need, including interviews from athletes and every FBS team. Commish wrote a nice little preview for it for our Sickos games this year and what we think is going to be Sickos about the year. So you can buy that. We've got our Substack and our YouTube channel. On Substack, we have our Sickos Committee Weather, Travel, and Football Master Almanac. We have our Missouri Valley Football Conference preview coming up on Monday. And once I get my shit together, I'm going to have mine done. We also have the NEC and Patriot League on Wednesday, the MEAC and the SWAC on Friday, the Pioneer and the UAC coming out soon, as well as the SoCon and the Southern and
Southland.
And lastly, if you need some other gear that's not Sickos gear for the fall, go to Home Field Apparel and check out what they have. This week, they are getting new Kent State gear. It's their first drop, and refreshes on Kansas State, and Mizzou. If it's your first time ordering, use code YES. That's 3 HAs for 15% off your first order. If it's not your first order, use our link and we get a little kickback anyways, and it would be wonderful. What?
Get your Der Wiener Schlinger shirt.
Yeah, they have one of those too.
Sorry,
That's right.
Der Wiener Schlinger.
Der Wiener Schlinger.
I'm excited, and I like that Home Field's doing this, like just basically putting hated rivals all together with the refreshes, just to like, oh yeah, well, just basically not angering everybody, but then like, hey, more people bought stuff. So
I mean, there's 2 Big 12 teams here and then SEC team. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Kansas and Mizzou
I said we got to go back. They're all in the same conference again.
They're all in the same conference, and it's the Big 8.
It's the Big 8, or maybe was it the Skyline?
Or are we going back to the Big 6?
Whatever it was, it's the Big 6.
The biggest 6.
And then Commish is going to lead us through our best season of all time for teams who are below 500 all time. That's what Apps 500 at. We are on part 40 of 41. We're here.
The excitement, like the season's coming. I cannot believe we are this close to finishing it. We have one more school to go after this evening, and part 40 of 41. We've done 40 of these. Can you believe that?
Now, here's the thing. You think this is our penultimate one, so you're like, we're going to bring out the big guns for this.
Yeah.
And we did. Commish, what are we covering?
We're talking about the Buffalo Bulls.
Woo!
That's what I'm talking about. You're talking about UB, not UB40, not red wine.
I'm sorry,
we're talking about
Commish, I believe this is SUNY Buffalo.
SUNY Buffalo?
SUNY Buffalo. I believe that's what they would have.
You're gonna get all the Buffalo fans up in our mentions.
They're gonna
SUNY Buffalo. Are they the flagship? I don't know. Are they the flagship SUNY school? Maybe I don't know. I haven't heard that. Well, tell us all about the Bills, Commish.
The Bills. Again, I've had trouble not calling them the Bison. I don't know why, but I want to call them the Buffalo Bison. So if that happens throughout this, I apologize in advance because it's.
If you do it once, I'm gonna cut it out and put it over every other Bulls mention. You say correctly.
All right, I'm gonna try to go with the Buffalo Bulls because I was struggling with this, and I'm gonna mess it up. So if you want to cut it and put it over everything, that's fine. So I want to give a shout out to 1897 Buffalo. They were 9-1. They beat Syracuse twice in back-to-back weeks. Once in Buffalo, once in Syracuse. Shout out to them.
Wait, why did they play back-to-back weeks? Do we know?
Again, 1897. You're gonna play whoever's closest to you.
Sure.
You're not traveling far in 1897. Give a shout out to 1899 Buffalo. They went 6-0, and they didn't have a coach.
No coach.
That may be coming soon. We may have some graphics on what schools were.
Just goes to show coaches aren't necessary.
I think coaches could be overrated. I don't know.
They're just there to.
We're like trying to prophesy.
They're just there to collect paychecks. We don't need them. There
were literally rules back in the day that said coaches could not coach during a game. That was discouraged heavily and penalized if coaches were seen
What
as
is this?
coaching.
Is this Wimbledon rules?
It
Mhm.
seems that way. So they adopted Wimbledon rules back in the day. We've been compiling stuff to figure out which school has the best record with no coach. So we've gotten a little spreadsheet going there. Also, their program shut down from 1903 to 1915. Then they returned. I did want to give a shout out to 1959 Buffalo, 8-1, and then also 2018 Buffalo, 10-4. Their only 10-win season in school history. So shout out to all those Buffalo teams. The team that I selected as their best season of all time for teams who are below 500 all time is the 1958 Buffalo Bulls. 1958. There's the picture of the Buffalo Bulls team right there in color, which is nice. Their head coach, his name is Richard Offenhammer, or it could be Offenhamer, but I'm going to call him Offenhammer, and I don't care.
Do that.
But his Wikipedia profile, he goes by Dick Offenhammer. So we're going to go with that, even though in the yearbook it says Richard Offenhammer. It is.
Are the coaches all wearing knickerbockers?
It is.
It looks like it. Yes.
It does.
This
look
is
like it.
straight.
Mhm.
This is straight like 1950s New York stuff. Like it's incredible, even though it's all the way in upstate New York.
Look at his jacket on
Yes.
his coach's pick.
Yes.
That's a beautiful
Also-
striping on that jacket.
Yes.
He looks like he could be in the Bowden family, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate like the collar and the lapel of that jacket? Because whoever's lining up that stripes,
Oh yeah, no,
like,
it's excellent
lining up the
tailor.
striping, yeah,
Oh yeah.
good tailor, good job.
Big time. So the history of Dick Offenhammer, he was a native of Buffalo, New York. He started in football as a halfback and baseball as a catcher at Bennett High School and at Colgate University in Hamilton, New York. At Colgate, he started at right halfback on the 1934 football team, which only lost to Ohio State, and again on the successful 1935 team. For the Colgate baseball team, Offenhammer hit .380
Ooh.
as a senior, playing both catcher and as an outfielder. He also was an intramural light heavyweight boxing champion all 4 years at Colgate. After graduating Colgate in 1936, he was an English teacher and the head football coach at Kenmore High School. Kenmore, that famous brand by Sears, in Buffalo, New York. In 1939, he played summer baseball in the Cape Cod Baseball League, made famous by the movie Summer Catch with Freddie Prinze Jr.
I was about to say,
Is that
I
real?
watched a movie about
It is a
that.
real movie.
Yes,
Freddie Prinze
it's a real
Jr.
movie
and-
that I've seen. Yes,
Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jessica Biel, like he gives up a
Oh.
perfect game to go get Jessica Biel. Whatever. Sorry for spoiling that movie for you. Enjoy.
The only reason I know about the Cape Cod
There you go.
Baseball
That's
League.
a lot of people's only reason they know about the Cape Cod Baseball League. He
Jordan is going to have to go back to the beginning of this episode and give a content warning because we're about to spoil a whole bunch of food.
Spoil a bunch of shit. Oh my
we
god.
spoiled Back to the Future 3, and we spoiled the classic movie Summer Catch
Oh.
with Freddie Prinze Jr. and also Matthew Lillard. Can you believe he was in it along with Freddie Prinze Jr.? No way. All right. So,
And mild spoilers for Kindergarten Cup.
Oh yes.
yeah.
Oh, and
Two more.
that's right too.
This is our film review podcast.
It's amazing.
Oh.
from- After the Cape Cod Baseball League, he was playing catcher for the league's Harwich Mariners. From 1936 through 1946, his Kenmore teams compiled an outstanding record of 50-7, capturing the Niagara Frontier League, otherwise known as the real NFL, championships in 1943, 1944, and 1945. That's right. The real NFL is the Niagara Frontier League.
Mm.
That's right.
Mhm.
Take that, Adam Schefter. From 1946 to 1955, he was the head coach of the freshman football team at Colgate. In 1955, Offenhammer was recruited by the University of Buffalo president, Dr. Clifford C. Furness, to revive the school's football team. Offenhammer went on to serve as the head coach at Buffalo from 1955 to 1965, compiling a record of 58, 37, and 5.
I just want to point out that every time you say Oppenheimer, it's starting to sound like Oppenheimer to me.
Yes,
And this is going to be our Oppenheimer review.
Oppenheimer. Yes, I didn't see it yet, but apparently there's a bomb.
Oh, it's
Spoiler alert,
good.
the bomb goes off.
Oh my god, no.
Oh
way.
my god.
No.
They're
And
just
he
spoiling
spends a
everything.
whole He spends a ton of the movie coaching Buffalo. It's the
It
weirdest
is
Yes!
the
thing.
weirdest thing.
This is so wild.
In 1984, wow, Oppenheimer's still alive. Oppenheimer was inducted to the University of Buffalo Athletics Hall of Fame, and in 1985, he was inducted into the Colgate Athletics Hall of Fame for baseball. 1998, he was inducted into the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. Buffalo was his first head coaching job, and he took over a team that had only won 4 games in the 3 years before he took over.
Oh, oh.
Yes. So I have the yearbook, which again, I get really giddy when I find yearbooks for these teams. I love this. The yearbook itself, the scan is really bad. So some of the pages are just like at horrible angles, which I feel like it makes it even more sickos because you can only read it a little bit. I did this for Jordan. I took a picture of the University of Buffalo band.
Ooh.
That's the first one for you there.
Oh, they're great. Oh, look at those uniforms.
Yes.
I want those boots.
That's
I
right.
want those boots.
They're
wearing.
amazing.
Yes. I did that for Jordan and Beth. They
Beth,
really love that stuff.
If you think you look boxy in a polo and slacks, let me talk to you about a blazer, an ill-fitting men's blazer on a woman with whatever that dress is, what that skirt
A
is.
straight skirt.
Yep.
It's not. I'm very sorry. I'm extremely sorry. However, I like the Boucher saxophones in the front row.
Oh shit, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
That is. Oh my god.
See?
Those are top hats, my
They-
friend.
they
That was
are.
just for you. That
Ooh.
was just for you, both of you right there. I
Thank
put that in
you.
there for that. I know y'all love that stuff.
Ew.
So I have some pictures from the season, like Bucket moves to stop the Yellow Jacket star receiver. And then there's a picture that has no context. It just says, feeding the furnace.
They look like they're drinking out of flasks, right?
That has to be it. Or like,
It-
maybe they're eating something. I don't know.
I don't,
It does.
Her
it
nickname.
does
Her
get cold
nickname
in
is actually
Buffalo.
the furnace.
the only thing that I can think about here is that the person that hired Oppenheimer was named Dr. Clifford C. Furness, like Furnas. And then maybe it's that, but they have this mischievous look, and it says feeding with that apostrophe, the furnace.
She's drinking out of a flask. That's why.
She got something going on there. I don't know what's going on, but she got a fur coat on, and he's got a twinkle in his eye. I don't know what's going on there.
It's important to make sure you wear like one of your backup minks to football games, so that if you spill mustard on it, you're not that upset.
This is a really good point, Beth. Yes.
The Buffalo Bulls played their games at home in 2 different stadiums. Stadium 1, it was War Memorial Stadium, which was colloquially, I can't even say that right.
Colloquially.
Colloquially, Jesus Christ. It was also known as the Rock Pile. It was an outdoor football, baseball, and soccer stadium in Buffalo. It was opened in 1937 as Roche Memorial Stadium. The venue was later known as Grover Cleveland Stadium and Civic Stadium.
We don't name
I have
enough
a
things
question.
after Grover Cleveland anymore. You notice that?
I wonder if they named it after him, and then they named it after something else, and then they named it after him again.
Oh,
That would be really
there we
good.
go. That's good.
Yeah, that's right. The stadium was home to the Canisius Golden Griffins, the Buffalo Tigers of the AFL, the Buffalo Bills of the AAFC, the Buffalo Bulls, which this is the team that I'm talking about right now, the Buffalo Bills again of the AFL NFL, the Buffalo Bisons of their baseball team, the Buffalo White Eagles of the ECPSL, the Buffalo Blazers of the NSL, the Buffalo Bisons of the ELAA, and then the Canisius Golden Griffins again of the NCAA.
That's-
Man, there's just something going on every week.
Seriously.
What is?
Wait, there's
Yeah,
more
I have a lot of
at the
questions.
stadium of the known as the Rock Pile. It also had a racetrack and hosted several NASCAR events.
Hell yeah.
Oh god.
No time for a jazz festival there.
None. The venue was demolished in 1989 and replaced with the Johnny B.
Oh, that's
Wiley
kinda sad.
Amateur Athletic Sports Pavilion, which retains the entrances from the original stadium. So
Oh, cool.
if you want to scroll down, here's what it looked like back in the day. And then now the entrances are there. It is so incredible.
Holy shit!
Oh my
Oh,
god!
no.
What did you do?
That's kinda
It
cool,
is
though.
so
God.
cool. It is so awesome.
Like that. Those are old. Like that's got to be like works progress stuff. Like
Mhm.
that's WPA builds.
It looks that
For
way.
sure.
Yeah.
It was
But
built in
now it's just
1937, so that's definitely
Yeah.
the
it's
work
WPA.
progress. WPA.
Listener, you might be thinking that this just means that like they put a football stadium and they just repurpose the entrances.
Nope.
No, that is not what is going on here. The entrances, which were on two corners of the stadium, are now in the far right field corner of a baseball stadium, and the other one is in center field, leading, from what I can tell, nowhere.
Can you
Beautiful.
sit on what used to be the roof? It like the one in center field has sort of like Green Monster energy.
It does, but I think those are just air conditioning units.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're air conditioning because it has sort of like a power station look now. This is bonkers.
No
I have
idea.
so many questions.
I know it's amazing. I loved it, and I had to throw that picture in there because it's fantastic.
The worst place to park during a baseball game because you can park anywhere else around the stadium and have a lovely view unless you park behind one of these things.
Yes, for real. I don't know if they do them as like ticket offices. I don't know what they use them for, but it's just incredible that they like. We're gonna tear down the stadium, but we're gonna keep the two entrances that we had. I love
Oh
you,
my
Buffalo. This is so great. All right, so that's just their first stadium. Stadium 2, it was known as Rotary Field, not as fun, of course, is a former athletic stadium in Buffalo on the South Campus of the University of Buffalo. It was the home field for the Buffalo Bulls football teams from 1920 to 1942, and then again from 1955 to 1984. The field at Bailey Avenue and Winspear Avenue on the southeast corner of UB's South Campus opened with UB's season opener against Teal College on October 9th, 1920.
What?
Teal
Yes!
legend.
What
Teal.
on Earth?
Oh,
Teal
I
College.
love it. Go Cats. Go goddamn Cats.
That's right. So, podcast member Beth, podcast squatter Beth, yes. Her college, her first game ever played in the stadium was Teal. But I was like, okay, let's dig a little bit further. The field was initially known as simply University of Buffalo Field until the Buffalo chapter of Rotary International donated $250,000 for the creation of a proper athletic field or stadium, and that the same shall be known as Rotary Field. Construction with bleachers with a capacity of 7,500 at Rotary Field was completed in time for next year's season opener, another Buffalo and Teal game.
Yes.
On October 8th, 1921. Teal twice with
Yep. Teal football out here changing the world.
changing the world in Buffalo. To the schedule. Let's go. After all this Teal stuff, they opened on the road at Harvard, at Harvard Stadium in Boston, Massachusetts.
Boo. Boo.
But guess what? Buffalo sinks Harvard in the mud 6-3. O'Grady blocked a kick, paved the way for Bottini's touchdown. I love this thing here. This was Offenheimer, Offenheimer. You got me with
You're
the
losing it.
Oppenheimer.
You're losing it.
Oppenheimer.
I'm losing it. Damn it, I'm losing it. I'm a Barbie girl. I'm sorry, that's the wrong movie. Life in Plastic. It's fantastic. All right. So
That whole album slaps by the Aqua Aquarium.
yeah, sorry.
Definitely
You guys-
great buy. It's an easy great album.
My dad sent me an AI generated Johnny Cash cover of that song, and I was like, I'm not ready for this. I hate AI.
That's right.
The internet was a mistake.
Internet.
But then I was like, oh, maybe I love it. Anyway, sorry.
I can't listen to Barbie Girl anymore because my ex-husband listened to the Spanish version of it as his cleaning song for 2 entire summers, and so like it
Jesus.
breaks my brain now.
What?
That's too much.
That's
Yeah.
weird. All right.
Son las plástico, es fantástico. Yeah. Oh no.
Got my title. Thank you, Beth. Nailed it.
How am I supposed to?
I'm sending y'all the Johnny Cash Barbie Girl
can't-
thing
I
now,
can't-
so you can all enjoy
I
it
can't
too.
go further. I can't do it anymore after that. So it's plastic. All right. This was the University of Buffalo's finest hour. The battling Bulls completely disregarded by the odds wizard, who did not make a point price on the game. They didn't even set a line. They did not believe in the Bulls at all. They upset Harvard 6-3 before 6,000 people, 6,000 soaked spectators at Harvard Stadium, rocked on their heels by a Crimson field goal in the first quarter. Dick Offenhammers I'm struggling. It's gonna keep going now. It's too much.
This is my fault.
They again, it's perfect. This is what our podcast is. They acted like champions after the intermission, and then they blocked a kick by Joe
Yes.
O'Grady and Nick Bottini's recovery in the end zone for a touchdown. So they blocked the punt to beat Harvard, and they went up 1-0. Offenhammer said, "We will give them a decent game if our ends stay healthy." And I'm talking about confidence right there. You know, if our ends stay healthy, we're gonna give them a decent game, folks. And that is some 1950s motivation for you right there. The next game, they go to Cortland at Cortland, New York. Buffalo nipped.
Which is a subway stop.
It is.
That's the
It
only
is a
reason
subway
I want
stop.
Portland.
They nipped
Mhm.
Cortland 7-6 for the second win. The University of Buffalo, a football team, came from behind in the fourth quarter to remain undefeated with a 7-6 triumph over stubborn Cortland. Van Valkenburg ran for 4, then took Olivero's short flip on a first down to the 14. On the ensuing play, he went all the way, breaking off tackle and simply fighting his way into the end zone. Now it was up to Buffalo's Bill Brogan, the extra point kicker. Buffalo needed a 2-point conversion like a moose needed a hat rack.
Wait,
What?
hold up. Like, so it didn't need it.
They didn't need it. No. And I'm like,
Okay,
I had to
okay.
read this a couple of times. They didn't need a 2-point conversion because a moose doesn't necessarily need a hat rack.
Got
But
it. Okay.
okay, yes. Sir.
Isn't I would argue that a moose, there are two reasons moose don't need hat racks. Number one, they don't wear hats. Number two, they are their own hat racks. They have the
Yes.
hat rack attached to their head already.
It's like we always say, be the hat rack you want to see in the world. Moose in hats.
With Olivera holding, Bill Brogan booted the ball squarely between the posts, and they held on for the win. They gained strength and just shut them down everywhere. Their next game is at
Now-
Western Reserve in Cleveland, Ohio. This is before they became Case Western Reserve.
Before we go there, that last one, it was there. Like, I know it's technically true, but I feel it's kind of weird to say remain undefeated when they're only 2-0.
Hey, that counts.
It counts.
It does count. Like I know it's technically true, but I'm thinking more like 4-0, 5-0 to remain undefeated.
One in a row.
One
One in a row.
One in a
One
row.
in a row.
Again, we did the Northwestern podcast here. We were going to cheer for 1 in a row, 2 in a row. They're
True.
going to remain undefeated. We're going to do that. So it does feel weird. But again, 2 games in a row is what they technically call a winning streak.
I'm gonna lean on that this season.
That's
Yep.
right. Do
Yep,
that.
hold
Go
on to
right ahead.
Use that where you need to use that. Yeah.
That's right. Do that. Do that on the Flamin' Couch Parade. Their third game of the year. They're on the road again at Western Reserve in Cleveland, Ohio. The Bulls again. They fall down. They get down. They tend to fall down, but they come back and they win 19-6. The University of Buffalo put another great football show on the road today, coming from behind for a 19-6 conquest of Western Reserve to bring a perfect 3-0 record into Saturday's homecoming game with Baldwin Wallace at Rotary Field. So if you look at the stats there, really no differences in any team. But check out the fumbles.
Lost 3, lost 4. Jesus. And UAB picked up 3 interceptions. Sorry, UAB. Yeah, Buffalo picked up
UAB.
3 interceptions. So that's 7 turnovers for Western Reserve. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there was a lot of turnovers. Their next game, finally, their first game at home, and it's a literal homecoming because this is their first game at home. They get crushed by Baldwin Wallace. They lose 26-0. The team Baldwin Wallace was coached by Lee Tressel. That's right, that's Jim Tressel's father.
Jesus.
Mhm.
Gonna put a pin in that information right now. Just put a pin right there. Put it.
What is INS UB Skane? 26-0.
I have no idea what skein means or skeen or no idea what that means.
It's like a thing of yarn.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a length of
A
yarn.
skein. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Skane.
Yes.
So, but what does
Or
that
a
have
flock
to,
of wild geese.
what does that have to do with UB? Okay,
Maybe
never
they're
mind.
using it the way that we would use like streak now.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Like their thread. They cut it or
Yeah.
something. Okay.
So I saw some notes from this game, and I saw it in the yearbook. So it said Jackets Brady confounds Bulls with aerial show. So I'm like, okay, there's an aerial show. So I'm expecting like a crazy all-out passing attack. So I look into the thing. It says the slightly fabulous athlete completed 12 of 20 passes for 228 yards.
Hey, that's not bad. Better than 50%.
Yeah.
And 228 yards, we'll count it.
2 went for touchdowns and 2 went for 2-point conversions. I want to just note what Lee Tressel said at the end of this game. So the coach of the team that defeated Buffalo here. I don't want to take anything away from his performance today, but he was better again 2 weeks ago against New Haven.
Damn. Damn.
So
Also, I want to point out that aerial show sounds like a Mike Leach offense. I just want to point that out.
It does, but it was 20 passes from the 5'10" junior from Sandusky weighing only 165 pounds. Again, put a pin in this one. This is Buffalo's only loss for the year. The Bulls never lost again. They rattled off 5 straight wins to finish 8-1. Their last game of the year. So I'll just read what they did. They beat Columbia 34-14. They beat Temple 54-6. They went to Wayne State and they beat them 44-14. Then they went to Lehigh and they beat Lehigh 34-26. And then their final game at Rotary Field, they played Bucknell and they beat Bucknell 38-0 for their 8th win.
Oh, Nellies.
Oh, right. That's right. So after this, Buffalo was rumored for a Tangerine Bowl bid.
Nice.
Ooh.
But they were vying with Rutgers for the Tangerine Bowl bid. So the University of Buffalo football team, after doing a workmanlike job on Bucknell yesterday afternoon, late last night was sitting back impatiently waiting a Tangerine Bowl bid. Last night it appeared that the competition for the northern spot on the program was between Buffalo and Rutgers. The Associated Press reported that Rutgers had received an invitation, this is in quotes, to the Tangerine Bowl, but would not reveal a decision on acceptance or rejection until sometime today or tomorrow. However, one Florida source claimed that Buffalo
This is my favorite part of this.
Jesus.
Buffalo was the hottest thing in Orlando, home of the Tangerine Bowl.
That's great.
That's right.
Curse. It's a curse sentence. Jesus.
University of Buffalo is the hottest thing in Orlando.
That's right. Hot bulls in your area.
That has.
Mm,
Oh.
Hold up. Hot bulls.
New dating.
in
Don't
New
my-
say
dating
that.
app.
No, you're about to. No. You don't want to know this about USF. No.
Oh.
So the Floridian
good.
said flatly that UB, University of Buffalo, will be tendered the bid Monday and will accept. Jack Morgan, chairman of the Tangerine Bowl Selection Committee, told UB officials yesterday that the Buffalo school ranks very, very high on our list. So here's some articles, some clips
I
from
need
that.
to know if Jack Morgan is related to like John Morgan of Morgan and Morgan. I'm
Who-
researching that
I
one.
mean,
I'll
that's going to be
continue.
tough because his name is Jack Morgan, but he was the chairman.
I know.
You could try chairman of the Tangerine Bowl. So
Oh, good.
I just want to appreciate the one Florida source claimed UB was the hottest thing in Orlando because that's very like Twitter message board energy. Like, I know a guy and he totally told me this. It's real, I promise.
yeah,
This guy that said this is also like a club promoter.
seriously.
So good.
Again, hot bulls in your area. So the Orlando source, who insisted that UB is Tangerine Bowl bound, said that should the bid be turned down by UB, it would go to Miami of Ohio, not to Rutgers. But he reiterated UB will accept. The Tangerine Bowl game will be played December 27th in a stadium which seats 13,500. There is a possibility that the game will be televised nationally.
Ooh.
Dick Offenhammer, from the instant this game ended, was at the mercy of his friends, en route to the dressing room, and then in it. The UB football boss was at the receiving end of the most enthusiastic congratulatory pummeling.
So his friends were beating the shit out of him happily?
Basically, so it reminds me of like you hit a home run, and then as soon as you hit home plate, they all smack you on the head.
Yeah.
with your helmet. Even though you got a helmet, it still hurts. It's not fun. It's just you're just getting smacked on the head. So that's what I'm imagining. So Offenhammer said that I could burst. Then the coach made the rounds, passing out 25-cent cigars. The cigars were the coach and his aides and the athletes were celebrating the 1958 season, celebrating the birth of a new, exciting football era at the University of Buffalo. With a box of cigars in one hand and a fistful of 25 centers in the other, Offenhammer stepped up to the muscular tackle, Sam Sanders. Sam reached in for a couple and said, "I don't smoke, coach, but my father does."
Damn.
The Racing Bulls, in their last 5 games, have converted ballparks, both at home and away, into touchdown factories. Over that span, 29 touchdowns bearing the UB trademark have been manufactured by the Buffalo athletes. So Buffalo was actually nominated and won something called the Lambert Cup.
Oh, very cool.
It's
Ooh.
it was emblematic of supremacy in the eastern United States, small college football. Basically, we can kind of consider this the Division II national title at the time. And we could just credit the Bulls with the Division II national title because technically there wasn't really Division II at the time until they like broke out a little bit. So they're national champions. They won the
Claim
Lambert Meadowlands Trophy Cup. So scroll down a little bit. It's official. The Bulls received the Lambert Cup. The Lambert Cup, awarded for the second year, goes to the top small college team in the East. It went to Lehigh one year. Dick Offenhammer's Bulls clinched the silverware with a 38-0 romp over Bucknell last Saturday. This was their 8th victory in 9 starts. Their only setback was by Baldwin Wallace. The winners later announced they had unwittingly used an ineligible player.
Ooh,
What?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Pressel cheating.
No way. No, sorry.
Just
You think the
Runs
kid
in the
was
family.
ineligible because he got a free tattoo?
Just
Mm,
cheats everywhere down at Balding Walrus.
that's right. Walrus.
Balding walrus.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's Balding Walrus now.
Mhm.
Yep. I said it. Come at me, Hornets.
Come outside the Hornets. They're gonna swarm you. Buffalo's outstanding season earned an invitation to the Tangerine Bowl on December 27th in Orlando, Florida. The players have voted to accept the bid. Buffalo led through most of the season in the Lambert Cup voting by 10 selectors. It wound up with 9.5 points of a possible 10. 5 voters placed Buffalo first. 5 rated it second. Following Buffalo were Westchester at 8.4, Williams 8.0, Rochester at 6.5, Connecticut 4.4, Delaware 3.7, Juinada, I have no idea how to say that one. Is that like a really bad Pennsylvania pronunciation that has not come up? Do it. Do the Pennsylvania pronunciation. Do it.
It was on the list for the
I remember that.
pronunciation game,
Yeah,
by
it
the
is.
way.
I totally
But
forgot.
it's Juniata.
Juniata. All right. 3.3.
No. but it's
Juniata.
close. You gotta lean into the ah. Juniata.
Juniata.
There you go.
Wait, okay.
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes that way.
Okay. It's Gettysburg 3-1, Tufts 2.5, and Lafayette 2.1. So they are the Lambert Cup winners. As I told you earlier, that the yearbook was kind of scanned funny. So this is a little bit slanted.
this is so bad.
This is so bad. So the 1958 edition of the Bulls compiled a final 8 wins and 1 loss record. So I'm like, okay, they've only played 9 games. What happened here? Like, they got the bowl game. What happened to this bowl game? There's going to be a twist here that is really going to kind of throw us all off here. So Buffalo opened the season in mud and rain, conquering the Cantabs of Harvard. The victory was an upset to everyone except Coach Dick Offenhammer, our Hammer. To his players, notable mention should be made to Gordon Bacady, Joe O'Grady, Bill Brogan, and Lou Reel for their excellent playing in the Harvard game. Buffalo, after defeating Harvard, successfully beat its next 2 opponents.
Hold up one sec. Every time in this article, the official yearbook, it says Oppenheimer.
Mhm.
Hmm.
What the fuck are we doing here, people?
Oppenheimer. It's the
What is
collab.
this?
And again, it's like the Bernstein Bears or the Bernstein.
Oh my God,
Bears.
it's the Mandela effect.
I have no idea.
Wait, in this timeline, does Pikachu's tail have the black thing? I don't know. Oh my God.
Maybe they're not Fs. Maybe they're just long S's, but they're actually supposed to be Ps because no one knew how those worked.
Who knows? Again, we're probably in the middle of going back in time to put everybody back in their conferences. So like some of the stuff is getting crossed up in the effect here. So the Bulls next fell victim to Baldwin Wallace, or otherwise Balding Walrus, powerhouse of Ohio. The combination of their aerial circus and ground offensive proved too much for the Bulls. The return to the friendly confines of Civic Stadium and coach Dick Offenhammer, or Heimer, whatever, sprang many surprises in UB's conquest of Columbia. Individual stars of the game were Ken Bourne, Gordy Bacady, Paul Sissamandi area. I totally messed that up. Jack Welch, Tom McGoogle, and Jerry Gurgley.
Got them gurgly eyes. Wait.
Okay.
Mhm.
So was that the name of the guy that they always made fun of, Jerry, in like Parks and Recreation? Gurgley?
Jerry, Larry, Gary.
Yeah. Was that his name? Gurgley? I don't know.
No, Jerry Gergich.
Gurgich. Close enough. Whatever.
Yeah. That's what it was, yeah.
Following the Columbia game, the United Press International voted Buffalo coach Dick Offenhammer, or Heimer, coach of the week. Buffalo regards our coach as tops every week. UB then pounced over Temple, Wayne, Lehigh, and Bucknell. At the finale of the season, UB received a bid for the Tangerine Bowl in Orlando. But wait, it's what, 1958?
Oh, fuck.
And they're
It's
going to the
this.
South.
Oh no.
Yeah, so dun dun dun. Sorry for the bummer here, folks. But because of racial discrimination, Buffalo turned down the bid. Much credit is due to the stand taken by the University of Buffalo. The Bulls were a recipient of the Lambert Cup, which is emblematic of the most outstanding team in the small Eastern colleges. The Baby Bulls 11 ended their 1958 football season with a 59-0 rout over the University of Rochester freshmen.
Get fuck you, Spin.
That's right. So I got a couple of different some photos here, and I got a little bit more information on what occurred regarding the racial discrimination that happened in Orlando. Unfortunately, of course.
Okay. Before we get to serious things,
Yes.
I need everyone to scroll down to the top of the next page and look at that one
no.
photo.
I was like, before we get serious,
Go. Yeah, please do.
this is why I put all the funny photos here. So you have
Jesus
the UB
Christ.
holds Harvard, then you have Ken Bourne surrounded by owls, moves for a 10-yard gain. Then on the next page, it says Western Reserve back is halted by UB. Then you have this floating head in the yearbook that has no name. It is just a floating head. I don't know what is going on here, but we need to put this floating head in the Discord chat. Yeah, there it is.
I did.
You've done it
I did.
already. Perfect. It is just a floating head.
And a dude with feet for hands?
And a dude that looks like he has...
Oh,
He does look like he has feet for hands.
I feel like his knuckles are in the ground, but the way this photo is cropped is not good. But he looks like he has...
no.
He's also sporting what I have to imagine is the 1950s version of the thigh gap. And by that I mean it's like they have scooped out his thighs.
Yes.
Mhm.
And his whole like chest situation makes no earthly sense.
None whatsoever.
Everybody has to start somewhere with Photoshop.
That's right. They started in 1958. Then there's Coach Offen. Again, look, in the yearbook, it's spelled differently
God
again.
Damn it.
Damn it, Buffalo! Spell his name right. Is it Offenheimer or Offenhammer? You're messing me up here.
Keep in mind, in the previous article, they spelled Lehigh Lay.
Yeah,
I know.
So, like, we're on the struggle bus big time with spelling.
Buffalo, the Buffalonian yearbook is really got us fucked up right now.
The Buffalo. Yearbook names are so good. I
They're
have found so
so
many good
good.
ones.
They're
Buffalonian, though, is great.
Buffalonian is great. So it says Coach Offenhammer reviews quarterback prospects. And I'm just like, he's just standing there, and they're all
I love
posing.
that.
It's so ridiculous. Then there's
What is?
yeah, it's just chilling there. So George Mawe breaks away for a gain as Bucknell defenders close in, and then there's the cheerleaders. So you have the first row of the cheerleaders, then you have the second row of the cheerleaders, and then there's two bulls in the middle of the cheerleader.
Oh, shit, I didn't even see them.
You didn't even see them. You can't even see them. Like, you don't even recognize. Like, they're just blending in with the cheerleaders. There's one on the left, and then there's one on
Oh,
like
yeah.
the second row on the
Oh.
right.
So we
Like they're real bulls.
Yes!
we need to discuss these bulls because
Discuss.
those bulls are Buster.
Mhm.
One of them is Buster 1. According to their Wikipedia page, this would be his second year serving as a mascot.
Mhm.
Buffalo acquired its live mascot when Mike Todd and Elizabeth Taylor gave UB's cheerleaders a 7-month-old Black Angus Irish Dexter bull named Buster.
Wait. That Elizabeth Taylor?
It's a link, so very possibly. Yes,
Oh my god.
that
Okay,
Elizabeth Taylor.
so she had white diamonds,
Yeah.
and then she's giving out bulls to like the Buffalo
Yes.
Bulls. Love it. I love it.
Here's the thing about bulls. Most teams that use a bull actually use a steer for really obvious reasons. Not Buffalo. As Buster matured, he became increasingly bad-tempered
No shit.
and had to be replaced by Buster 2. So it's likely that this is a transitional picture, because you can't usually keep bulls around people once they get past about 3.
So- I'm doing some additional reading about this. So the bulls are they are Dexter bulls, which are Irish pocket cows, basically.
Okay.
They are small.
It's a teacup mascot.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, an Irish pocket cow.
Look, the Dexter is an Irish breed of small cattle, originated in the 18th century in County Kerry. But the whole thing is that they're sort of half size.
Okay.
They're small, pocket sized for your convenience.
Mhm.
I'm also trying to figure out like why. So Mike Todd was Elizabeth Taylor's third husband.
Wait, she had like 8, right? Or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Elizabeth Taylor was his third wife, and
Mm.
she was
Yeah, third.
They're each other's thirds.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good luck,
Okay.
Where was Richard Burton before or after this?
He was after this.
Tom. I
Okay.
had no idea.
Both times she was married to Richard Burton was after this.
Okay, got it. Yeah, because you're right. There were 2 times.
But I'm just trying to figure out like what the connection to Buffalo is, and I am finding nothing in their Wikipedia page.
Weird.
I'm assuming it's drugs.
Weird.
The gateway to Canada. Who knows?
Buffalo's mascot is no longer Buster, but Buffalo's mascot is now Victor E. Bull.
Oh yeah, the big blue bull thing. Yeah.
All right. Do we need to go into the heavy stuff here a little bit?
Okay. Go.
Somewhat heavy. I'm gonna try to lighten the mood, even though this sucks. This is crap. This is what happened to them. So the University at Buffalo's first bowl bid was to this game. They got the bid to the Tangerine Bowl. The Tangerine Bowl Commission hoped that the Orlando High School Athletic Association, which is the OHSAA, which operated the stadium, would waive its rule that prohibited integrated sporting events. When it refused, the Buffalo team, voted to skip the bowl because its 2 black players, halfback Willie Evans and end Mike Wilson, would have not been allowed on the field, which again is a bunch of bullshit. It kind of works here because they're the Bulls. There's a columnist by the name of Charlie Young says the Orlando board throws a curve. The culprit who threw the curve that put the University of Buffalo out of the Tangerine Bowl Stadium is the Orlando High School Athletic Association. That's a group of businessmen who have a 50-year lease on the city-owned football field. Joel Wells, the HSAA secretary, says that the standard rental contract contains a clause prohibiting mixing of races in the sports contest. The
Standard clause.
Standard clause back in 1958, all right? The association hid behind the smokescreen of technicality in a sleazy maneuver that hardly reflects credit on the city or the businessmen involved. Actually, the association achieved its dubious goal by doing nothing at all. The Tangerine Bowl Committee asked for a waiver of the intermingling of races clause. Did it ever give a definite yes or no answer? It did not. No such exhibition of fortitude came from the association. Instead came a statement that it would be presumptuous to think that the Elks Club, which sponsors the game, would even consider a legal breach of the contract. The association didn't come right out and say, but keep your Negro players at home. Instead, it hid
Fuck that noise.
Instead, it hid behind a technicality that practically dared the Tangerine Bowl Committee to bring the Buffalo team to Orlando. So, again, just a bunch of shit. I mean, just a bunch of crap. Let them play in the game. Literally, since they're the Bulls, this is a bunch of bullshit. Buffalo and Orlando group agreed that there was no bowl game for the Bulls. The Tangerine Bowl tried to get them to move the bowl game to a different location to try to get them in a bowl. The word today from Jack Morgan, the chairman of the Tangerine Bowl committee, said, "We sincerely regret that we will not be able to extend a second invitation to Buffalo to play in the Tangerine Bowl game. We inspected the alternate sites that were offered, Sunbrook Speedway, and another high school stadium, and they found that they were definitely not suitable for the bowl game. At best, it would have been a poor substitute. The University of Buffalo, I know, would not have been satisfied with either alternate site. Rather than invite Buffalo to a game that really wasn't a bowl game, would have been unfair to the school." So they tried to basically change the bowl site, and they just couldn't do it. There are 2 fantastic articles on both of this here. So there's one which is from NMAHC EDU. It's called the Bond of Brothers. This is a fantastic article we need to plug whenever we do the podcast. It is from the Smithsonian Museum, the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Basically, they tell the story of this, and that's where I got the picture from. The Buffalo teammates were behind the 2 friends. They did not want to go play in this bowl game because they wouldn't be allowed to play. And they all banded together and they decided not to play. There's also a fantastic New York Times article that was from 2008, which basically celebrated the 50th anniversary of this team. Because guess what? Buffalo would not be invited to a bowl game or be bowl eligible for another 50 years.
God, that fucking sucks.
So there's an article from the University of Buffalo here, which I found here. The University of Buffalo did 2 things this season that proved it really had grown up in intercollegiate sports. First was when Buffalo refused to accept a forfeit victory over Baldwin Wallace, or otherwise known as Balding Walrus, and they beat the Bulls 26-0, but used an ineligible player, and they offered to award it a victory to UB. I'm going to give you that victory, Buffalo. You're undefeated. You're getting that victory from the Sickos Committee. Said the Bulls, in effect, the games are played and won on the field. You won it, and that's the way the record stays. I don't care. They cheated. Buffalo, you get the win in our eyes. You're undefeated this year. And then second was when Chancellor Clifford C. Furness flatly rejected the Tangerine Bowl. UB had 2 African-American players, and the Chancellor took the right stand and said, "You take us, all of us, or not at all." Willie Evans, a brilliant back, and Mike Wilson, a capable end, helped make this.
Ouch!
Huh?
A brilliant back and a capable end. Those.
Well, I mean, Mike Wilson was technically a backup end on the team. So
Okay, gotcha.
All right, I'll give you that one there. So they helped make this a great winning season for the Bulls. The bowl game reward was as much for them as any member of the squad. Strangely, it was Evans who wasn't very keen on accepting the bowl anyway. But the segregation issue had nothing to do with it. Willie's a married man and working his way through school. He needed the extra money he could earn during the Christmas holiday to help support his family. Shout out to Willie Evans. I mean, he's like, nah, it's okay. I probably shouldn't go to the bowl game. I need to work to support my family. But give a shout out to Willie Evans and Mike Wilson. And the entire Buffalo team, they're like, hey, this is 1958. We support everything. This is before the Civil Rights Act in 1964. So huge shout out to the 1958 Buffalo team. And again, I had to make the comment, a Tressel using ineligible players. Again,
No way.
What?
No way.
Mm,
No way. I can't believe that a Tressel would do that.
truly a tradition like no other.
The Trestles on CBS.
As an Orlando delegate, I'm really glad that Buffalo stood their ground.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing for Orlando. Just embarrassing.
So I really wish Buffalo would have gotten a chance to go to the bowl game. That bowl game, I thought I marked it down, but I'm not sure who actually went to that bowl game.
It was Missouri Valley, which is an AIA school, and East Texas State, which is A&M Commerce.
Yeah, so Buffalo was scheduled to play Florida State in this game.
Like that. Yeah.
That didn't happen. I don't know what happened with Florida State. I didn't look it up, but they won the Lambert Cup, and then there's the trophy of the Lambert Cup and the plaque with the Lambert Cup. being the again, I'm calling them Division II national champions. So at the time,
Yeah, hell yeah.
we're gonna call it that way. And I mean, just a phenomenal team. They also did a fantastic outside the lines on this team, 2008 ESPN Outside the Lines. They did that one there because their first bowl game since 1958 was in 2008. Turner Gill was their head coach, and they led them to their first ever bowl game.
Florida State in 1958 ended up going to the Bluegrass Bowl and playing Oklahoma State, and we lost.
1958 was also evidently the beginning of the Florida State-Florida rivalry.
Oh, you're right, because it was the weekend, or it was November 22nd that year.
That was the first.
And
first
we
one.
lost that year.
So again, they declined the bowl bid for I mean, righteous reasons. Like, they didn't make another bowl game until 2008. They didn't win their first bowl game until they won their first ever Bahamas Bowl in 2019 over Charlotte, 31-9. They did make a couple of different bowl games, but they didn't get their first win. They made the International Bowl, which is no longer in existence. They lost to UConn. They made the Potato Bowl, but lost to San Diego State in 2013. They made the Dollar General Bowl in 2018, but lost to Troy. But then they finally won their first bowl game with Lance Leipold. They beat Charlotte. They won the next year. They won the Camellia Bowl against Marshall in 2020. And then 2022, last year, Maurice Linguist won the Camellia Bowl again over Kyle Van Treese and Georgia Southern.
It all comes back together.
Everything comes back together. Again, shout out to Buffalo. We got one more team to go. And BSO ATFT B500
I can't wait to find out who that is.
I have no idea. Could it be the Commish's team that he roots for? No idea.
No.
Maybe.
Well, folks, that's what we got for today. I hope everyone has a good evening. And we will see you one weekend closer to the season.
We're almost there, guys.
So close.
So close.